Okay. Let this be a lesson. This is why I never do morning streams, because that's when the internet does not work for me. It has to, I don't know, the print has to warm up first by quite a bit. So we're going to go, and I've dug up Raquel's stream from earlier that I was part of. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick little run through that. I was going to edit it, but I couldn't download it right. So let's go ahead and get in here. Now we're going to be skipping a bit here. There's a little bit of dead space here and there. Like about to there, I think. And plus now I'm getting distant commentary too. There we go. There's Raquel. He's one of them. I was going to send out the invites. I don't know why my mic sounds like I'm underwater on her end. At least I'm heard. Now, a little full disclosure. We did do a little run through before starting the stream here. Something they had as kind of a keep yourself busy. While waiting for the event to happen, there's a thing you jump into the Death Star Scepter, and they had to fly TIE fighters around, destroying X-Wings, defending the Star Destroyer, and then it switches to you flying X-Wings, trying to take out the Star Destroyer. Basically, you take out the two shield generators, and then you hit. And I found out later watching another stream, they were hitting the wrong spot. But I did see a Star Destroyer be taken out in another stream or another feed. Yeah, this Boba Fett thing was put up to promote the show, the Book of Boba Fett. They should do an edit style of it. Not because they'll probably do a whole new script, but no, they just do an edit style, so you can do original trilogy Boba Fett with the light gray outfit and a little more armor here and there. Not quite so punchy. That would be interesting. They did a good job with the samurai thing. Okay, so let's skip a bit here. And Raquel says to pick out the cheerleader outfit here. I'm just having trouble getting connected on there, so. Okay, yeah. So this thing had to back in again. So we're going through this thing trying to get it. So okay, so I'll just skip a bit there. Yeah. No need to see how all the sausage is made. Let's give a little bit there. If you want to see it all, it's on her channel. It's all 30 minutes of it. Now, this was what they had gone before the actually starts. Mm. Yeah, it's the music is rather intrusive. So, but all right, YouTube, we should not be claiming anything like this because we have no control over this. I have the same thing. I had mine license feature was off, no, and it was still playing. So, and for the longest time, I wasn't getting claimed. Yeah, right there. Yeah, yeah. The time I got claimed was would I go into the cantina and that cantina band music, but that I'd get claimed on. No wonder the thing is this is you didn't have to worry about the engines cutting off. You know, because that was one of the irritating things during the game. If flying along and this engine suddenly, mm, constantly having to restart everything. Mm. Okay. Now this thing, if you crash or blow up, you respawn in a few seconds. So it's not that big a deal. It's just annoying. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you can see the Death Star reorient itself, so the laser eye is pointing right at the island. Okay, yeah, and there's you can see the countdown there. About 25, 24 seconds, so the whole thing starts. So this is really just kind of get everyone in the mood. I think that was the counter and how many X-wings were left. Oh, mm, okay. Yeah, the lasers didn't seem to overheat much. I don't know. Okay, at this point, the weapons cut off. I'm wondering why I can't shoot anything. And then it's oh yeah, it's starting. Yeah, there we go. And here we go. Okay, I think that yeah, future. This should have been done as a crawl, and you're going up the screen. Yeah, she used to have signal problems around there, but well, that could have been the server thing. And there goes it. There goes the starter sure going boom. Yeah, she's doing that constantly. So, yeah, and then everyone else, you looked at, you saw yourself in the X-wing in the Tie Fighter there. So then, when I was playing, I was to see myself, and then so okay. Hmm. Because I never did see myself in one of the guys there, so I don't know. Because I know I'm in there somewhere. Hmm. I think I was from the other cabinet there. Yeah. Yeah. Some. Yeah. Yeah. If we spot a guy with a vibro thing on one arm, that's mine, but I don't see him anywhere. And these guys said to. Yeah, I didn't see this going on. I was somewhere else. Hmm. Yeah, a lot of these things are really just follow along. Hmm. I had Vader in there, so I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. I'm gonna wonder what do those little mouse droids do. Hmm. So yeah, Jonesy's as the time. What? Yeah, why didn't he ask this before the mission started? Okay, yeah, yeah, he just whacked it. Yeah. Mhm. And the wee. Yeah, yeah, I don't know where he was. I was somewhere else and watching somebody just kind of. I don't know who it was. All right. Again, I don't. I mean, my perspective, I never did. I somehow missed this part. I heard of but somehow I never did get the helmet off. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. 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 And there goes fish stick. Yeah. Uh, mhm. No, I know. I was got one over on the. I was over on the right there somewhere. So. I know I grabbed a big rifle once, but I think no, I want to go back to the other one. But I don't recall around shooting anybody with things. So I think All right. All right. That's the thing. With these kind of events, you just follow along. They even get arrows out there when the thing's on. Yeah, follow Jonesy that time. Because they're all the same thing. You're always going to be steered towards along the same common thing. Well, cinematic sucker. But also, though, you really can't affect anything. So you know you're kind of helping, but you're not really affecting the damn thing. So it's just along for the you're along for the ride. And Fred, no, this is another thing. That's other players are also taking out things. So like this was a waste of time shooting each other. Yeah, the big key was the other player up there doing the emote. Hmm. So anybody wondering why the towers stopped firing in the movie? This is their explanation. It's not. I think hmm. I don't know if I was on this side or the opposite side of the room. There's also other towers on the other end of the room, the other side of the room. I might have been on that one. Not sure. Yeah, because the other towers over there. There's, yeah, yeah. The fact he was actually trying that. Yeah, yeah. Getting up here, I one point up during the section with it's coming up here. I'll get the thing. I did pause. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we got it this way. Uh, all right. Now, summer breath. That went over the edge a few times there, and they complete with a Wilhelm scream and all. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. And they're getting out of here. The problem is everyone's dressed as stormtroopers, so it's like either you're shooting at your own guys, which doesn't do anything, or you see if they do any damage. I'm pretty sure I got taken down at one point here or somebody. Whoopsie. Yeah. This one, everybody went down. And But we got up quick. Yeah. Yeah, I point out that he decided there's walkers. Like they're walkers. We can't get out in a walker. They're no damn good in space. And saying she's probably a little busy right now. Yeah, I think I'm trying to jump a thing here. It's like, yeah. And here's her about to meet the emperor. That point, dare I say it? Do I got a bad feeling about this? Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. That's always a standard line. Oh, my plan. Yeah, sure it was. Okay, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, the theory is it's like he can't block everyone, can he? Come on. But then it's irrelevant because he just grabs them all, throws them out into space. Great. And he starts throwing TIE fighters at us. And again, I don't remember. For some reason, her perspective was like, everyone else is gone. It's like, mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm off to the right somewhere, I think. And then, is that? Mm. Remember that rift ago she did? Yeah. And time to leave. Yeah. And again, this is going to be same point of view when from when I was the one, so, instead of the cheerleader. Yeah, with Jones off to the side there. So, all right, and what's going on? And it's like, yeah, you may fire when ready. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everything. And just about the whoop. See, and here's where we get the. Yeah, it's hitting that portal there that's been building up. Here we are going to. We're now going into the next season. Yeah, and again, this is everyone in this. You saw your own character splattered out on the thing. Mine was close up with a Mando, or so we all have the same reaction there, because now it's like we're gonna see a little thing. View of the view of the view of the island from the air. And there's Soups waiting to come in. And then, yeah, and I don't know what the glass is about, or it could be chains. I don't know. Could hard to tell. And that's what we're stuck with there. Yeah, and we need to do something about. And anime needs how to read a timer better. Yeah, yeah. The most they've ever done, Frank. And the thing is, all you left is the exit button, and you hit the exit button, you exit the game. So I'm gonna go ahead. Let's see, where is it? Let me go and close that. That's it's pretty much just she does the same thing. Click the exit, and it's we're out of the game. We'll try and go back and just getting that same screen back. So it has been a few hours now. I'm going to go ahead and fire it up and see what the timer's at now. It should be more than like maybe an hour or so. But that's the thing. Yeah, old timers will tell you back when they did the black hole story at the end of that, end of chapter one, and everything collapsed and the black and people freaked out because it was down for like 48 hours. There's video of kids smashing their consoles in frustration. It's like, Jesus Christ, get a grip, kid. It's a good game, but it's still just a game. I mean, more unhinged, like smashing their TVs. It's like at this time, a few years ago, it's $1,000 TV. You just trash over a fucking video game, you little brat. I don't care if the game comes back in 10 minutes. You ain't playing anymore. You're losing it here. Let's bring it up here. It should be down to within about an hour or so. And I forget who, one of the data miners, little montage of the whole battle pass, or at least the up to the current thing before the bonus stuff. But it's looking like I think Superman is actually one of the bonus things. Robin is your tier 1 skin. You start off with a Boy Wonder, and then you got these other ones. This is Arcane. Her name is Storm. You get this guy's Kill Switch. I forget her name, and Soundwave. I think it's the Synthwave. Is the chick with the headphones. And then just the lizard. I forget the name. Yeah, stuff's coming out, and I think some of the partners have been able to get a little early gameplay on it. But yeah, this is around noon, and it is coming up on 5 o'clock now, so we'll see. It would be nice if there's an edit style to put the proper S shield on there. I'd really like an edit style for the old one. It's like get rid of the Mandarin collar. God, I hate that style. We got, it looks like David Cornsweat. We'll get this thing loaded. See how much time is left, and then we'll go and take a look at one of the leak on the battle pass. And by the way, to help me get the battle pass, immediately, links in the description. Just need a few bucks in my PayPal, and I'll be able to get it immediately. As it is, it's gonna be a while. Because let's just say it would not be too kosher to run another overdraft just for the sake of a battle pass. It can wait, you know. And again, since I'm really not that enamored with that, because I don't like what they mess with the shield like that. You know, it's one of the simplest things to get right. It's one of the most recognizable, you know, graphic artist things on the planet. People in outer Mongolia know the Superman shield. Hmm? And they got this Kingdom Come thing, which really only works within the context of knowing the proper one. Bringing this in by itself out of nowhere, it's like you're losing a lot. You're skipping a lot of context there. Mm-hmm. And apparently somewhere in the, you know, I guess one of the trailers where there's a, you know, crypto is somewhere in there. Oh, they are bringing back pets, so that might be how they're doing that. They're, you know, crypto in as a pet. And pets as in not just, you know, a animated back bling, actually a little animal that will follow you around and you can probably interact with in some way. Ah. But, you know, they have the girl down here in the black hair. She, you know, her name is Arcane. She's a kind of a spellcaster. This gal, her name is Storm, which, you know, gonna cause issues with the Marvel character. You happen looking to have that in the battle pass, but she can transform into kind of a beast character. And I'm forgetting this one's name. Again, if I got time, I'll dig up that video I posted, I shared on earlier, where they go through the whole thing. This guy's name is Kill Switch. There's Robin, and I think her name is Synthwave or something. It's sound-based character. And we got a superhero academy here, which I think that's, I don't know. We'll see what the new map looks like when they finally get it going. Now I suspect we've still got a little bit of time because it's like I said, it was about noon when it kicked off, and it's really just past 5. Yeah. We haven't been talking next time. Okay. Oh, okay. It has started. Okay, then. We don't want to do the video, so we'll just get right into this here. So, intro video. Okay, Synthwave, Light Riders. Okay. Storm Beast. Okay, that's enough. Yeah, apparently Crypto's in there somewhere. Yeah. And they've given Robin some much needed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And apparently there will be some mythics involved to actually, you know. So if you're running Superman, okay, let's claim that. So we got that one there. Actually, be able to have fly and have heat vision, so Superman will be able to actually act like Superman this time around. Kind of like when the last Marvel thing when they had the Iron Man mythics, you actually fly around and act like Iron Man for a change. All right, so let's take a look at the battle pass. So let's, you know, so yeah, start off with Robin, and next up, you get you can do a different cape form, I guess. Those are the glider. A-Rap. So yes, guns are back. Then they got V-Bucks. This is a nice glider. I like that. Then we got a spray. This is a hell, good little pickaxe here. Loading screen. Emote. And you got his banner icon. Contrail. Another cape. Might forget another thing here. Pretty good loading screen there. A version, another version of them. So let me move on to loading screen, and there's our glider. All right, more V-Bucks. When they're not shaded, I mean, they should be freebies when you get on. Their back bling. This changes into the beast. Another version of that. That and that and that. That's a pickaxe. Yeah, okay. So, little variation, and save the cheerleader, save the world. Okay. There's our lizard character. Kind of group photo. This would be this pickaxe. Just whack him with the. And the character is Ziggy. Kind of a laid-back lizard thing. And some color changes and things, and most of the style options here at this point. Then we got this character, Synthwave. So a note to Marvel Comics, they had to bring in the idiots like Safe Space and Snowflake. This is how you do characters, okay? Okay, it is likely licensed. Oh, here we are. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, okay, we got another version of the glider, another loading screen, another version of a casual version of it. Then we got this guy. I think there is a casual version. I don't think he gets casual. This guy is all business. Yeah. Right. Yeah, they all got this, starburst symbol on their chest there. So. Yeah, this is not a nice guy, you can tell. Let's finish your back link. You got a different outfit, but it's like there is no casual version of this guy. So then we got the next character up, Light Rider. Keep him. It'll lock in again. And that's her. And there's a casual version of her somewhere. That's her pickaxes. Banner icon. Contrail. There. A slightly darker version of it. Then we get this character. Probably that magic user type. Little spell books there. Morgan Mist. Okay. That kind of goes with the back bling. More V-Bucks. Okay. I don't know where I got the name of the king. Okay. And so she's kind of powered up. And then we got the bonus rewards, which are other stuff here. Then we get the casual version of styles here. All right. I don't think you can get more casual than this character. He's stoned out of his mind right from the get-go. sprays, emotes. Nice cape. Upbeat synthwave. And of course, kill switch is intense as always. He's got an interesting color, cobalt. I think it's about time that they brought out a Hawkman character, the skin. Okay. We finally got a rabbit sticker. White hair. And then these guys we're not going to see for a while. And then the big one is going to be Superman. Unfortunately, it's the James Gunn version. As they'll say, they screwed up with that there. And we're not going to see that until the day before my birthday. So, and I got 150. I need another 850. So somebody can throw $10 in my PayPal. There's a link in the description. Anybody on my Come on, give me a menu. There we go. All right. Well, BioSync's in. I can wait a while, so I'm going to. We're going to switch a bit. Get a little more into the theme here. All right. And again, I need a few bucks to get the pass. Right now, not really an option. So I'm going to rack up a few experience points, and that will help me get there when I do get the battle pass. Yeah, because I want Robin. Okay, I got Batman, and you need a Robin skin in there. It also fills out the Teen Titans ones that I have. No, I'll never get Beast Boy. I'm really just not really cared for that character. Got Raven, got Starfire. They need to do a cyborg. All right now, main thing you want to fill out the map. See what's changed and what hasn't. I'm pretty sure most things have been changed. Oh. Okay. Oh, come on. Yeah, I know, okay? I don't need that right now. Come on. I just got to get in the game. Let's look at the quest while that thing's loading. Okay, we got it. These are Utopia cities. All right, there's gonna be a lot of running around though, just filling out the gray parts of the map, which I think is probably going to be everything. But yeah, I hate to be a nag about it, but yeah, this is an urgent situation for more ways than one. Not not just talking about the battle pass, so just paying our rent in a timely fashion. Because that stands, I'm $85 in the hole. And some of these things hit and the overdraft charge and yada yada. So either way, I'm gonna have to go talk to the front office and say, hey, look, things have happened, and we'll hopefully get everything straightened out by the end of the month. Worst case, try to do something earlier, but yeah. Come on. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. All right, come on. Oh, God. Oh, there we go. Of course. Let's see what's over here now. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, actually, there's still a lot of the old maps still here. In fact, it's probably back the way it was. Yes, and we're back to regular weapons. Okay. All right. Okay, most of them. Okay, so it's just in the middle there. All right. Seriously? The sprite has a Superman cape and shorts and a shield. Okay, we'll go with it. And a Superman shield on the temple. Can you say they've kind of gone overboard here? All right. For now. Okay. We did that already. Actually, hold on. Got heat vision. Okay, we'll deal with it. All right. Okay, whoop. All right. Let's see. There we go. All right. Got to figure out what these cards or whatever I'm picking up are mean. Okay. It's going to take a little getting used to. I'm not seeing all these Imperial, checkpoints everywhere. No. All right. Time to take the Batmobile into town. All right. Yep, ammo boxes are back. That would be that synthwave thing. All right. All right, what else we got? Blue Island still there? Where the hell did the car go? There. There we go. That's coming back. Okay. Could really use a gas station about now. Everyone. Where? Find you. All right. Almost there, baby. Come on, almost there. Okay. That's what I picked up. Huh. There's something that can let you go first person. I don't really want to go first person. I actually prefer third person. One thing, you don't mess up the peripheral vision there. Okay, where are we? I have yet to actually come across that. Except for that jump to the field and they were shooting at me. Nope, the roll is not back. Let's see. Get this a little closer to the house here. I am going to kick back right here for a while. Let me figure out what the hell we're doing. Okay. Okay. I haven't encountered any characters yet. Let's get something done here. Huh. Okay then. All right. You're kind of like late in the game to be trying to look up your other character. Okay, let's go back to the lobby. So, not quite a few steps off. All right. All right. What do we got here? Oh, this is passes. Okay, so we got most of that. Let's see. So there's just this area up here. Everything else is largely the same as far as the map goes. Just certain things are no longer there. First order base. There may be a few holdovers. Okay. All right, let me back out of this here. Let's see if anybody's online yet to know about. I just put out a little statement in our group chat on X that, yep, Fortnite's back up. So, And I got to go check on dinner real quick, so I will be back in a bit. So hold your horses here. Actually, I tell you what, I don't like leaving this thing just going like that. So let me pull up a video. Okay, no, not that. Keep everyone entertained while I'm away for a few minutes. There's no point you just sitting there watching Batman on the lawn chair for however long it takes. Okay, here's a response that I did to John Campy a while back when he said, "Is it time to a Trek to abandon the movies?" It's let me pull this one up here. See how that one plays now. I'll have to update that. Back in a bit.
The following program is brought to you.
Okay, here's that response video to Campy's latest little Star Trek declaration. It's no, Star Trek films are as popular as ever. It's like, even with the disaster Star Trek Beyond, notwithstanding. Okay, he has also gone on record to say that he refuses to take inflation into account, because then if you don't, you got to take into other things account, like streaming and video, online sales and rental. Okay, there's some validity to that, but the thing is, you got to take something into account, John, and it's not just inflation is only part of it. It's really got specifically inflation in ticket prices, because that directly affects how many butts in the seat you're actually getting for the ticket price. And I'll demonstrate here now. First, let's look at Campy's thing first, so I don't be accused of missing something.
With the most recent problems in trying to get a fourth film made and declining interest from the general movie-going audience, is it just time for Paramount to abandon the idea of Star Trek as a film franchise? All right, thanks a lot for the question, man. And yeah, one of the interesting things coming out of Star Trek Beyond, which was the last Star Trek movie, which quite frankly to me was the best of the J.J. Abrams movies. I've liked all the J.J. Abrams era Star Trek films, including Into Darkness. It might be my least favorite of the three, but I liked it. I still thought it was good. It had some very bad, cheesy moments. Con! It had some bad, cheesy moments, yes. But overall, I thought it was good. I really liked the first one in 2009, but I thought Beyond was even the best one. But even as the best one, it made the least amount of money. Made 350, 340, 360, somewhere around that, 360, 370 million dollars worldwide, right? We'll get to the specific numbers in a second. So one could be tempted to say, well, I mean, none of the movies made that much money. Like, I mean, it's the first one roughly made the same amount, maybe a little bit more. Into Darkness made a little bit more than that. So they're all roughly in there. So you could be tempted to say, with the third one making the least amount, by a little bit, could you say, hey, there's declining interest. There's, nobody cares about Star Trek anymore. Could you say that, with the Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth drama now, with them leaving and all this kind of stuff, and you got some new television stuff coming, is it just time to say Star Trek should give up on the big screen? They should just give up on the big screen. Well, there's something we should keep in mind here about all that. And that is, while you might be tempted to say that there is declining interest in Star Trek and nobody cares about Star Trek anymore, let's take a couple things in mind here. Now, here we are on the website Box Office Mojo, looking at all the different Star Trek movies, right? If we look at the most recent one, Star Trek Beyond, Star Trek Beyond made $343 million worldwide. Okay, fine. That is the least amount that we've had out of these new movies, because whereas that one made 340 something, Star Trek Into Darkness made $467 million, and the 2009 Star Trek made $385 million. So yes, Star Trek Beyond made the least amount of money out of all the Star Trek films. That must have been established. But let's look at it in terms of the bigger picture. How is the popularity of Star Trek holding up now compared to, say, the last round of Star Trek movies we had, right? Like First Contact, like Insurrection, like things like that. Well, let's look at that. The last Star Trek movie that came out was in 2002, Star Trek Nemesis. Star Trek Nemesis, that's not a typo, folks. Star Trek Nemesis only made $67 million. $67 million worldwide. That's how much Star Trek Nemesis made. Now, let's go to the one prior to that, Star Trek Insurrection. Star Trek Insurrection only made $112 million. Like, Star Trek Beyond literally made more than triple what Star Trek did. Let's go back to one before that, First Contact, a film that some Star Trek fans think it's their favorite Star Trek movie. Star Trek Insurrection only made $146 million. Right? Star Trek Beyond made quite a lot more than double what Star Trek First Contact made. So what I would kind of say, and what my argument would be right now, is simply this. In the grand scheme of things, Star Trek right now is more popular, and the Star Trek movies right now are more popular than they've been in 30 years. Even with Star Trek Beyond only making $340-something million, it's still far more popular than the previous generations of films that they did. Far more popular. Far more people are coming out to see them. Far more people want to go out to the movies to see them. Now, it costs more to make these movies than the other ones, sure. But you still can't argue the statistical fact that more people are coming out to the theater to see these movies now than they did in the previous generation. You can legitimately make the argument that the Star Trek movies today are more popular than the Star Trek movies have ever been, even when you adjust for inflation. So I think that means there are two sides to this coin we got to look at. Yes, the Star Trek franchise is not making $600, $700, $800 million like a lot of studios like to see their big tentpole movies do. True. On the other hand, it's doing better than any Star Trek movies before. And I think there is still a market for it. I really do. I really still believe there is a market for this. And here's the other thing. I believe partially the dip in, I think there are two main things that attributed to the dip in the box office results for Star Trek Beyond. Number one is that despite the fact that I liked it, a lot of other people didn't like Star Trek Into Darkness. I think a lot of people like Star Trek 2009, which is why you saw an upswing in the box office for Star Trek Into Darkness. But I also think there was a bunch of people that didn't like Star Trek Into Darkness, which attributed a little bit to the dip going into Star Trek Beyond. On top of that, do you guys remember the first trailer they put up for Star Trek Beyond? When they played Sabotage and all that kind of stuff, it was a brutal, awful trailer. Everybody hated that trailer. Me included. And I think that put them behind the eight ball. I think they were fighting an uphill battle ever since that, trying to get people, because that first trailer made that movie look stupid. And I think it was an uphill battle after that. It was a real uphill battle. So I think combining those two things contributes a little bit to the decline in box office. But I also think most people who saw Star Trek Beyond quite enjoyed it, which I think will reflect positively in whatever the next movie is. Now, you still got to get through this whole Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth situation. You got to get these guys back on board, all that kind of stuff. But in general, nah, I don't think the big screen days of Star Trek are over. I think they're more popular today than they've ever been. We've got it looks like we've got some strong television support coming, both in the forms of Star Trek Discovery, which I quite enjoy, and we got this new Jean-Luc Picard TV show coming, on top of some other projects they've got coming. So, yeah, I think everything is positioned really for Star Trek to have a healthy existence on the big screen. Again, I don't think Star Trek is nearly popular enough to be $600 million movies or $700 million movies. No, but they can be 400 plus or 500 plus million dollar films, which is just fine. And if they can get back to that, I think everything's fine and everybody's happy. So that's just kind of my take on that. What do you guys think? Jump down to the comments section below and leave me your thoughts.
Okay. Again, he goes back to that Box Office Mojo thing. Well, something he doesn't do on Box Office Mojo is they also have a chart showing average ticket prices going back to year by year to 1910. So the information is there to be utilized. And what I did here, in this case, is take the box office take for every Star Trek movie, starting from the motion picture on through to beyond, and let's look at the domestic box office take. Again, it's the foreign take is harder to quantify, especially with the earlier films, because it wasn't a big deal back then, so they didn't keep as good of records, and there were fewer markets. So just the one constant we have is the domestic box office take, and then we take the average ticket price, simple at math, and how many butts and seats does that translate into? So start with the motion picture, 1979, domestic box office. 82 million roughly. Not bad in 1979. In fact, it was one of the top 11 moneymakers of the year in 79. Average ticket price, $2.51. That translates into about almost 33 million people went to see it when there was initial release in the domestic box office. And maybe some re-releases, but not much of, it's just 32 million people to figure. Wrath of Khan, which is a big one, but it made about 4 million less. And when that translates to the average ticket price now up to $2.94, that's about 6 million fewer people. The difference being that the motion picture was saddled with all the costs of the Phase 2 series that never got made and all the development costs in that. So Wrath of Khan was a hell of a lot more profitable for Paramount, but that's how that worked out. So on to Star Trek 3, Search for Spock. Slightly smaller take at the box office, but $3.33 average ticket price. 4 million fewer people seeing it, but again, there was not a lot of production spent on that thing, so it was also profitable. Then we go on to the Voyage Home, and this is the first time we cracked the 100 million mark for the Star Trek movies, and it picked up. That's 7 million more. This is the highest figures since the motion picture. But for some reason they tend to ignore this. They always keep going about Khan, or got to do Wrath of Khan, or go to a big baddie. This movie, pretty much skunked Wrath of Khan, and it's totally gone. There's no big bad villain. It's a Yule log at a soccer ball. And then we get a bump on the road. It's Shatner's turn, Final Frontier, and he was saddled with a bunch of stuff. It was the first time movie director. He'd done a lot of TV and theater, but he hadn't directed movies yet, so he didn't feel he had the clout to tell the studio to go stuff itself when they started throwing these mandates and cutting the budget, and asking if he could, somehow obtain his, Star Trek in Search of God story and make it funny. And we all know what happened at that point. And the figures show, 13 million people. Fucking less than half the audience, and also had the misfortune of opening, the same time that the first Batman movie came out. So it was behind several 8 balls on that one. And a few years later, we got the Undiscovered Country. Oh, it also didn't help that at this point in '89, Star Trek Next Generation had already been out 2 years. So it's no longer a big event to see something Star Trek. It's like we watch it every week on TV. Why do we need the movies now? And then Undiscovered Country comes up. It's like, it's really starting to become an event now. It's like they're lucky they got the other 4 million there, and probably lower production costs too, I think. But we're up to 17 million people here. Even though the box office take, but it's just as popular as Search for Spock, but it's at
5 million fewer people seeing it. So, yeah, you got to take these things into account. This is what happens when you don't. Generations, yeah, a little bit more, but you're talking the first Next Gen movie, and Next Gen ran its course, so there wasn't a demand for that. It was like one reviewer said it's like doing WKRP in Cincinnati, the movie. It's like they ran this course. There was no seething rage of unfinished business that there was with the original series. That drove that nobody was really, it was just sort of expected. Oh, they're going to do movies now. Okay. Then First Contact. And look, 92 million. That's almost 20 million more. Well, no, it's only about 2 million more people showing up. Because now we're up to 442 a ticket average. And, and then Insurrection. Decent amount at the time, 70 million, but, we're talking, again, fewer people showing up. And the ticket price, getting close to doubling the average from when Motion Picture came out. And on the Nemesis, and this one is, I think, the first big example of dissatisfaction with one project affecting another. This was the time when the fans were really pissed off about what was going on with Enterprise and being totally ignored and even scoffed at by the production people. And this is the only way to do a payback, is torpedo the new movie. And things did turn around there, because this is when they I think they tried to brought in the third season arc, I think, trying to turn things around. Fourth season came out. It's like, okay, hand over Mandy Koto, and this is when they had and after this is when they had the fourth season, which I think Jeff Combs said this should have been the first season. They finally got things on track. They recognized, yes, we are a prequel. Let's act like a prequel, and things started around. Unfortunately, there's also when CBS took over, and Les Moonves, who doesn't know a phaser from a pomegranate, shut the whole thing. They just gave them a year to wrap things up, and they satisfied that. So okay. Everything sits fallow for 7 years, and here comes JJ Trek. $257 million. Oh my God, look at this. Well, the average ticket price is $750 by now. That means 34,364,003 people. And let's back up here. Look up here. How many saw the motion picture? 32. You're not talking a big increase here. And something I didn't include in here was the number of screens. JJ Trek opened up on over 3,000 screens. The motion picture was only on like 1,000 screens at the time. So 3 times as many screens, and you're only drawing in another 2 million people. That's not that big an increase there, John. JJ Trek was not that much more popular than the motion picture. It just cost a hell of a lot more, and the tickets were like, look, that's $5 more than that's almost 3 times the cost. Yeah, that is 3 times the cost of the original of a ticket back in '79. You're not getting that big a bang here. And then here comes Into Darkness. This is one where it goes off the rails because they went directly against the fan request and did con, even though there were polls at the time that they were still making the thing. And there was a poll out there. What do you not want to see? And the big winner, what they don't want to see is they don't want to see him do con. What do? They do con. And again, a lot of people were coming out, they wanted to see just how big a train wreck this was. Yep, and they got less. But the ticket price is already over $8 by now. And guess what? They got about 6 million fewer people to show up. And because of that, and again, also a long delay, 3 years. Here comes Beyond. Arguably the better of the 3 films. I still think it's a mess, because there's still things there. It's like, what the hell are you doing? And with a 158 million, respectable total, right? Wrong. When the movie cost about 300 million to make, they lost money on the domestic. They were saved by the foreign box office, but they may have broken even between that and the home video sales. But we're talking average ticket price of $865, which you'd think that's they still made twice as much as the motion picture. They had less than 2 million people show up for that film in domestic box office, domestically. That's 30 million less, or 31 million less, almost 31 million less than what's the motion picture.
Okay, that may be a math error on my part. I probably slipped a decimal point. I might have to rerun those numbers. So, but even still, 18 million people showing up. That's almost half of what showed up for JJ Trek. And that puts it in the lower echelon of how many people. So, well, look how much money. Now, you can't just adjust for the general inflation. You got to adjust for the inflation of the ticket price. And again, translate into how many butts in seats. That's the thing. How much does a ticket cost? I mean, even charging $100 a ticket, yeah, you can probably get a fantastic box office thing, but there's fewer people seeing it than we're doing less than $3 a ticket. And like I said, the motion picture opened on 1,000 screens. JJ Trek was over 3,000 screens, and it took them a while to finally catch up to the motion picture. In any respect, really. So no, this is they're not insanely more popular because they're doing inflated dollars.
That's where you really got to take into account the box office, and the change in prices. You got to take these things into account, or you look like a fool. Because you keep saying, "Oh, look at the money." Yeah, again, back in 1979, it's like you got what was the price of gas back then? It was under $1 a gallon. This is where it's still over $5 a gallon. Thank you, California. Morons keep blowing the curve. I mean, down here in Florida, it's still struggling to stay below $3. For a regular gas. You got to take these into account, okay? Also, back in 1979, I think a Ferrari, was like $16,000. Now you're looking to buy a used Ford for that price, okay? So yeah, whenever you see Campy dragging up that box office list from Box Office Mojo, you got to slam them on this. It's like you're not getting the picture when you do that. You're not showing that that it's popular now. No, it's not, because these are the butts in the seats that you're getting, and it's not looking good here. So yeah, I think it is time to abandon the JJ verse on this one. They've got their 3 movies. Let them go. They got to do they want to do another 4th movie to keep that license away from CBS. Yeah, I think we'll see JJ. I think we'll see Tarantino do a movie fairly soon here. But after that, it's like, it's time to hand it back to CBS and see if they can get somebody who knows what they're doing. And enough of this, the strange license they got with Paramount and Bad Robot, because they have not really grown the fan base that much. They introduced a lot of people, but hopefully what they've done is introduce people to the good Star Trek, and they'll hopefully add to the stuff. So yeah, I thought Jay, but look at this stuff. That was pretty good.
Okay, they just ran the numbers again. The numbers for Star Trek Beyond. Only 18 million people showed up for that movie. 18.3. So it's not
There. I'm hoping that's it. I think a lot of them are ADHD. It's like they can't sit still long enough for a story like say it's forever. So there's my take on it. Comments down below, and also PayPal, Patreon, all the other ones. Vote early, vote often, and we'll talk at you later.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a...
Okay. No, man. But Campy likes to blow it up. No, you did not adjust for inflation. You've been making that statement. And just a cavalier way in which he wonders why his audience is crashing. That's why. Because you're not taking things into account. You're not appreciating that things have changed quite a bit. And Star Trek, like I say, in the long term, it looks like just going with a movie in the first place was probably a mistake. mean, it may have been necessary at the time to really get attention to it, but sticking with it. Star Trek is not a movie property. It is a television thing. It's set up for do television. It's not set up for movies. And as such, where it falls apart. Because movies have to be a big event. This has to be the most important thing in these characters' lives, or what's the point? Star Trek is a series. You can't do those kind of stories because then it's like, what do you do next week? And movie series, it's kind of, what do you do next movie? And part of the problem with the first J.J. Trek movies, I mean, he destroyed Romulus and Vulcan. Where do you go from there for an encore, asshole? You got more movies coming here. And it's like, no, stop it. Just, And of course, JJ hates endings. Clearly, he never bothers to think it out. So let's get back into the game here. So let's take a look here. All right, let's get that out of there. Now, I got that bookmarked up there, so this is the last part to take care of the weekly there. And actually, I'm going to change this. Instead of Batman, we're going to do Superman. Apparently, there are mythics in this game that allow you to actually use his powers. And the flight heat vision. Fortress of Solitude is supposed to make an appearance somewhere. Now, what would be fun is if they could get some kind of deal with Marlon Brando's estate. You can get Jor-El in here. My son, you are the last survivor of the planet Krypton. You may look like one, but you're not one of them. All right. How much you want to bet First Order base is now Fortress of Solitude? That does seem the perfect place to locate that. All right. First, need to set down. That's way on the opposite side here. All right. First, get in the proper outfit. Okay, we're going to be going from launch pad to launch pad, I think. What is this? Okay. Okay. Launch pad up there. I think I'm probably going to have to get a car. Get something up here? Of course not. Yeah. It's going to take a little getting used to not seeing the Empire everywhere. All right. Nah. Great. All right, let's try that again. And there was the car I needed. Did I say ready up? Like a lobby. I'm getting poked in the eye by something here. All right. All right. Oh, I got something. Hold on. On the OG. Okay, the OG pass. I'm not entirely sure about this one because there's nothing on here that I have no connection to this game at this point. I mean, you know, one of the 7. These guys really don't. I mean, there's no V-Bucks involved here, so there's no point. These are skins I really don't give a shit about. So, hold up. Might as well. I mean, I'll use the points somewhere, and you can't do them anywhere else. So we got something to claim here. And I think we will do a loading screen here. Because I didn't use, because the other ones I don't even use for them until I get Robin. And when I do that, everything will fall into place here. I figure I'm going to rack up a few levels before then. So let's go back to this. Yeah, I got a feeling that supports the Solitude. We're going to find out. All right. Oh, okay. Finally. Okay. So we got a bit of a bus ride there. So I'm going to do that going there. All right. Okay, here we go. And it's actually it's still looking like the first order. I guess it's a holdover. Not even the Star Wars universe wants the First Order back. How's that? How's that grab you? All right. All right. Something I never had the last time was shields. And this. Don't forget the ammo boxes, man. Leave no ammo box behind. Yeah. Okay. There better still be a launch pad, I reckon. Yeah. No, keep it. That is a bit of a surprise, though. But yeah, everyone's got got a little bit of got to be a holdover somewhere. And I'm already past 50 points now. Where's that? There we go. Huh. Damn you! All right. Let's go back to the lobby. I think I need to actually probably do a little studying. Let's see. All right, so I'll tell you what. Yeah, the user crew's not on yet, so I'm going to go and take a break here. Probably be on later with them when they fire up. But again, links down below in the description. To let's see. Let me throw this up here now. Let's see, that's it there. There we go. So if anyone feels inclined, that's the PayPal thing right there. So I'm digging for it. Just need a few bucks, really, so I can get on the, no, this week get in the Pal Pass, so I actually start doing some entertaining streams here on this. Instead of less than okay, what's the freebies you can get out of it? Not much, really. They're few and far between. You got to, but whereas the Battle Pass, you can get Robin right off the bat and start getting stuff. So with that, I'm gonna go look up a few things. Probably, the top 5 gamer thing, top 5 gaming thing I look at, like Tabor Times where I got. I'll do a little studying here. So hopefully back up here in probably a couple hours when the rest of them start doing, and we'll be able to get something. Until then, we will